Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to find our seats. We'll go ahead and get started. Good afternoon, brothers and sisters, respected friends and guests, and especially young people. Everyone have a good week at High? High's pretty fun, isn't it? Make a lot of good friends? Yeah. High's a pretty special place, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know any other place you can come and everybody is your friend.
Yeah. You
Isn't
can say
cool?
that again.
Isn't that cool? You get here and everybody is your friend.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
You can say that again.
But y'all know, it only stays that way if we make it stay that way. If you show yourself friendly to everyone, then High can be a place you can come to and everyone is friends. Right? Well, we're going to go ahead and start the youth program this afternoon. Glad to see so many of y'all here, ready to participate. We'll go ahead and start with hymn 23. O children, hither do ye come, and unto me give ear. I shall you teach to understand how ye the Lord should fear. Standing, we'll ask Brother Matt Neely to open with prayer.
Our Father who art in heaven, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, hallowed be thy grand and glorious name. It's time we come to bow our heads to give thanks for the time you allowed us to come together to study thy word, especially this time, we'd like to give thanks for the time you've allowed us to come together to teach our young Sunday school scholars. Pray that everything that's said and done here might be found pleasing and acceptable in your sight. We pray that you be with them, continue to guide, guard, and direct them. Pray that they grow in the truth, that one day that they will fall in line with the truth and know thy word. Pray that you continue to bless us all, that we might be found pleasing and acceptable in your examples for our young ones. Once again, we give thanks and praise, praying that all that we do here might be pleasing and acceptable. Please be with our young ones. We give thanks and praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
All right, I know y'all are all anxious to show us what you learned this week. Talk to us all. First, we're going to have a short address by Brother Seth Brown to talk to y'all. And he's asked that we read before that address from Matthew chapter 12. Just a few verses here. Matthew chapter 12, we start at the 46th verse. While he yet talked with the people, behold, his mother and his brethren stood without, desiring to speak with him. Then one said unto him, Behold, thy mother and thy brethren stand without, desiring to speak to thee. But he answered and said unto them that told him, Who is my mother, and who are my brethren? And he stretched forth his hands toward his disciples, and said, Behold, my mother and my brethren. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother. All right, now y'all give your attention to Brother Seth.
You said this was supposed to be short. Oh, well, no promises, but I'll try. Okay.
Yeah. Come on.
Good afternoon, brothers and sisters, and good afternoon especially to the young ones. It's that time to begin. The front seats are filled with kids. Hymn 23 is on the board. By the grace of God, it's how the pattern goes. Another year, another high, another Saturday, another youth program.
Yeah.
Kind of scary having to get up and do this, isn't it?
No.
Come on, you can tell me.
I was good.
No. How cute. Really? So you're perfectly fine being up here like I am, trying very hard to remember everything you've learned, and with all the hundreds of eyes staring at. I'm not really helping, am I?
No, you're not. You're gonna for it.
Well, no worries, no worries. Before you do come up here, and I know some of you really are scared, you can't fool me, I'm going to talk to you a bit first. You said it was supposed to be short. We'll see. Just relax. This is a Sunday school talk I have wanted to give for quite some time, since all the way back in 2009. A few months ago, I shared a few ideas about it during one Sunday when the Brownies were visiting Austin. Brother Mark told me that my idea fit one of the things you've been talking about this week, the idea of family. So, here I am. 2009. Something amazing happened at the beginning of that year, mid-January. That was when I started playing World of Warcraft. Sorry about that. It did happen. It still is happening, as a matter of fact. But that's a different story. Let's try this again. Ooh, that's a good one. The amazing thing was when my younger brother Noah married the Julie formerly known as Osborne. And it was amazing for two reasons. First of all, I know many of you grown-ups Out there, we're wondering about one question. When are them brown kids ever going to get married? And the matchmakers were working overtime on that very question. So, I would like to thank Noah for taking the pressure off, at least for a while. Second, well, there's this thing called instant family. Some of you may know what this is. You may have felt it yourself. It's when you may think at first your family is very small, it's a tiny little group of people. And then one of you gets married. And poof, relatives! Let's try something. Now, not just the kids need to try this. Everyone. Take a good look around here at who is sitting with you under this tabernacle. Go ahead.
I just give it that fast.
You have to strain your neck a little bit. It's called exercise. At least I think it is. I haven't done it in a long time. Now, of course, you're seeing people who are learning the same things about the Bible that you are. More on that later. But at the same time, there's going to be a lot of you here that are seeing other things. Like brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, husbands, wives, sons, daughters, aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, grandparents, and grandchildren, perhaps with a great or two in front, and lots of these scary things called cousins that have numbers in front of them, and in some cases another number in back called removed, or something that, you know what, it's Saturday. I'd rather not think about math. So, why don't we try something that's a little bit more fun? I have something to show you. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to shrink this window first. I said, there we go. I'm going to hope this works. I'm going to plug this in. Come on. You're a Linux laptop, not a Windows. You've got a higher standard to go by. Maybe it's this button. Oh, you know what? Let me try this. Then maybe... Well, that works, but that's not quite what I want. No, I do like that picture. Okay, we will try... Oh, I guess I gotta enter my password first. This is not scripted, folks. Now we're going to go forward again. Oh dear. Well, you know what? You'll have to see it. But basically, I am going to tell you a story. I wish I could have shown this to you, but my computer feels a little differently right now. But how some of the different families in the Christadelphians are tied together. We are going to start with something obvious like, oh, I know, the Wolves. So, what it is, maybe you didn't realize, now I'm not going to name everyone, I can't. If it hadn't been for Sister Lois, I wouldn't know half of what I'm telling you now, but the Wolves can be tied to the Bantas, which include the Kylies. The Wolves are also related to the Rhodes. They are linked to the Britons, which include the Weeks. They're related to the Somervilles. That's Somervilles with a U, not an O. There's a difference. They could also be tied to the Conleys. Then there's the Rogaus, which include the Westleos. The Wolves could also be tied to the Edwards, the Prados, the Knoxes, and the Smiths. Now here's where it gets interesting. The Wolves are also related to the Phillips and the Hurst. Now, Phillips can be tied to the Brownies, to the Males, and the Males are then tied to the Hughes. And here's the funny part, because the Hughes then loop back around are tied to the Hurst. I believe that happened a couple years ago. But the Phillips are a little bridge now that goes over to this other big group of family called the Joneses. This is where it gets fun, because the Joneses are related to the Humphreys, which include the Furs or Fur. I don't know how you say that. It's Jeannie's last name, Fuher or something like that. But the Joneses are also related to the Armstrongs, which have a link to the Blackers. Then the Jones are tied to the Luards, which include the Duels and the Darters, which can be linked to the Martins. Then the Jones are tied to the Askews. This is a really scary thing. Remember those scary things I called cousins I talked about? Well, it seems that The Askews, the Jacksons, the Neelys, and the Davies are all kind of these cousins. Then to make it really fun, you take the Pattersons and hook them to the Neelys. You take the Rankins and hook them to the Davies. Then you take the Redmonds and you hook them to the Jacksons. Then we go all the way back up the chain to the Joneses, which are related to the Somervilles, this time with the O, which are related to the Clubs, the Snyders, the Van Pelts, which include the Halls. Then they're related to the Osborns. I want you to remember that for a second. The Osborns are tied to the Hyams. Whew. I gotta tell you, it's tough counting the wolf pack and keeping up with the Joneses. Now, in this particular family, there are other little families you might call satellites, because they're kind of floating around the outer edge and not really tied in with everything. And we Browns were like that. Until the day that Noah married Julie, and then, well, we're in it now. You know, kind of makes sense that such an instant family has happened like that. See, we only have a certain amount of time that we are on this earth with which to learn the things written in the Bible. So God set up marriage. With marriage, a Bible-believing man and woman who love each other can choose to live their lives together. They can have children, like y'all, and they teach their children the Bible like they learned. The hope is that when those children grow up, they might find someone to love and marry, have children, teach them, and so it goes on. Now, there's a man in the Bible called Paul who wrote a bit about this. He wanted believers in the Bible to understand that a husband and wife should be in agreement, especially when it comes to the Bible. It's important that whoever you choose to spend your life with, share your love and belief in the Bible. Granted, it doesn't always work that way, but with all the names I rattle off, we see that it does. But then there's something else. Yes, the Browns are now part of the big Berean family by marriage, but before that, it already felt like family. A brief recap of my last 30 years. Yes, it is actually 30 years this year. It goes something like this. When my family decided to join the Bereans when we still lived in California, what, you actually think I'm from Texas? No, but you know the saying, I got here as fast as I could. So we were in California. It was the families of Bill Sharp and Jim Phillips who came up to talk with my folks about it. We in turn went down to Southern California and saw many other families such as the Freebergs, the Rogows, were the Davises back there then? And there were some of the Hyams there as well. Then we moved to Texas. Along the way, we met the Mamones in San Angelo. And in a rare moment where memory goes, bzzzt, I don't know if we saw the Smiths or not at that time. Of course, thanks to High, we would see them and everyone else over the years. And this goes for a lot of other gatherings and study weekends such as those hosted by Wales, Richard, and the Eastern U.S. Ecclesias. Coming to Lampasas, we stayed with Ross Wolf's family for a bit. The Phillipses and Freebergs soon followed. We rented a house from Ruby Wolf for a while. Then in 1986, we moved to a little place called Star. Nearby were the Hearst families of Vernon and Junior. We got to know the Hearst children very well, and I was in the same grade as Richard. 1991, I was baptized. Next year, I went off to college. Towards the end, my younger sister Sarah also came there. I was not yet driving at the time, so Curtis and Cindy Hearst would often come get us for a weekend back home. 1997, I end up in Austin. The Wednesday night class would see families such as the Connollys, Phillipses, Freebergs. Those two names show up an awful lot, don't they? Anyways, Brownies, Darters, and Smiths. A small Austin ecclesia appeared, which I joined in 2002. As of now, it has the families of Lee Smith and John Lurquette, as well as Sarah, my mom and dad, and myself. We often see Frank Darter and Becky Van Pelt also. Now, there's no way I can name everyone. It's just like there's no way I can name all the families that we have here. But I will say this. It maybe wasn't a huge change when Noah got married because I already knew quite a lot of you here today. And also, this is just my story. Yours may be a little different, but don't be surprised if some of the same people show up in your story, or at least related to these people. And here's what makes that wonderful. As I said, marriage, children, and teaching are a way to keep belief in the Bible alive longer than we may ourselves live. But at some point, and we can always hope very soon, that will change. God will send his son Jesus back to this earth. Those who choose to follow the Bible and were washed by baptism into it, whether living at that time or raised from the dead, will be brought before Jesus to be judged on how they have lived. Uh-oh. Hang on a second. I should not have pulled that plug. Here we go. Judged on how well they live their lives. Those who have done the very best they could and thus please him will be given a gift called immortality, everlasting life. So when the reward is living forever, why do we then need to marry and have children? The answer is, we won't. That constant worry about death will be gone. And death itself will be gone as well. In its place is eternal joy and service to our God, for he is our Father and we are his children. It really is cool how a lot of us are tied together by blood and marriage. But it's even better that all of us are tied together by that wonderful book called the Bible. For when the time comes where last names, marriage, and children don't matter, this is the family that does matter. So, how do you critters do it now? A little more relaxed? The reason I ask is I seem to be running out of words in this talk. And when I run out, your work begins. Good luck. Now wait a minute. How did I do that without even mentioning my cat once? Oh, interesting. There you go. Sorry.
Did you want to say thank you to Brother Seth?
Yes.
All right. Well, we've got 4 Sunday school classes this year, or youth classes, I should say. None of them have been on Sunday yet. Sister Joanne Phillips and Nathan took the 3 to 6-year-old class. They'll be doing a play for us from the Good Samaritan and a memory prayer. Sister Cindy Hurst led the 7 to 9-year-old class this year. We're going to answer a few questions on timelines. And Sister Julie Rhodes, my mom, had the 10 to 12-year-olds. They're going to go over some posters on the Israelites and the houses of God. And I think we'll go through it in that order. There's something in front here. Is there a Master Hughes here present? So, Times I Hughes?
Yeah.
Times I Hughes, okay. Well, come on up, give your presentation for us. Grab it.
Wait, I got a joke for you all. Got a joke. Why did they do that across the road? Because Andy scared their mom. Hi everyone, this has been great. Meeting new friends and learning new Bible stories. Lessons, sorry. I hope you can leave high and with what we learned to do, which is right in God's eyes. I wish everyone safe travels on their travels home. Journey home. It will be sad to leave you all after being together all week. I hope you all had such fun as I did at Bible camp. Let's live here and modified to what's right, especially when it comes and obeying our parents and grandparents. Thank you for listening. Go for him. This. Today I'm going to talk about Nebuchadnezzar's image. Oh, jeez. Nebuchadnezzar had a dream of an image or statue. Head of gold, breast and arms of silver, belly and thighs of brass, legs of iron, feet of clay and iron. A stone came down. Oops. Yeah, stone came down. You can't see the image because it's messing around. The image broke into pieces. Yeah. The stone became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. You're gonna let this color now. Here it is. Nebuchadnezzar wanted to know what the dream meant. He asked the wise men to tell him what the dream meant, but he could not. Daniel and his friends prayed to God, and God showed the dream meaning of the dream to Daniel. Something's going on with it. It's messed. This laptop is freaking out. It's already funny when the laptop freaks you out. The image showed the kingdoms that would rule over the whole world. The world is represented by Babylon. Yeah, Babylon whatever. Empire. The head of gold and the same meaning of the lion breast in Daniel chapter 7. You can look it up whenever you like. It's there. You don't have to read it now, but you can read it whenever you like. The image showed kingdoms that we would rule the whole over the whole world. The whole world. The head of respect, or whatever that word is, I can't remember words. It's hard for me. The head of gold is the same meaning of the lion breast in Daniel chapter 7. Here's a map. Here is a map of Babylon Empire around 600 BC. That's before Christ. Put BC short, which is shown in yellow. So it's there in yellow, you can see it's in yellow. Ignore the writing underneath the picture. Next on the image was the breast of arms of silver, which represented the Medo-Persian Empire would rule the land after Babylon. The same empire represented by the bear beast. There's the bear up in the right. The bear is in the right corner. You can see him. Here's a map again of the Medo-Persian Empire, which is shown in tan. So you'll see the color. I don't know what tan means, but it's like a color. The belly and thighs of breast represented the Greek Empire. The empire was led by Alexander the Great. When Alexander died, yes, he's dead. I can't wait. The empire was split up among his generals. Yeah, generals. Greece is also represented by the leopard beast. There he is, in the corner. Here's a map of Greek Empire around 323 BC before Christ. Again, as you can see, it's short, which is shown in yellow, yellow, and so to be in Welsh. Next image were two legs of iron, which represented the Roman Empire. The empire became the largest empire ever and was very strong. It is also represented by the great, terrible, and the beast.